Oh, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the DFU. That's right, Chris here again, solo. And what are we here to talk about? You know what we're here to talk about. Last time we did a solo lecture, I talked about everything that we know now as far as Final Fantasy 16 was concerned. And we got our trailer. That's right, we got our trailer. I'm so excited about it. I couldn't wait to talk. I'm going to try not to make this like a review show because it's supposed to be different, so we'll see how that works. We're experimenting here. Good news is it is not 2 o'clock like last time, so there shouldn't be anywhere near as close as much yawning, but I'm also very sick, so I apologize for that. But I'm here. So, Final Fantasy 16. We've been waiting a long time to get some information. I mean, a long time. We finally got our next trailer, which looked amazing. I do have one thing I'm not the biggest fan of. Just one. But we'll get to that in a second. So I'm not going to show the trailer. We are going to go over Final Fantasy 16, or not Final Fantasy 16, but Square Enix's webpage. They have put some new information up as far as character profiles and some screenshots, which look really nice. Figured that we can go over and talk about them if there is anything to talk about. And just kind of, go with the flow. Let's see what happens. So first off, I do want to thank everybody that watched the last episode of this. The views were awesome on it. Really appreciate that. And the conversations were great. Everybody that commented, super appreciate you. Hope to have some more conversations with you on this video. But that being said, let's jump into it. So, got our trailer. Loved it. I guess we'll start off with the thing that I didn't like. Not a fan of the HUD. Not a fan at all. I don't hate it. I just don't like it. I don't know how else to really put it. I can get over it. I can 100% get over it. I just feel like it's a lot and it's really clunky to where it really could be a lot more like slimmed down, or I don't know, man. It looks weird. Like, especially when you get to the icon fights, right? And sorry, I'm trying to think because we went through so many differences between summons and aeons and icons. So, when you get to the icon fight, it looks like a 2D platforming fighting game. Like a Street Fighter or Marvel vs. Capcom. That's what those bars look like, and that's what those bars remind me of. So, it's kind of weird, But, hey, it is what it is, right? But, yeah. So, that's my one complaint, right? We are officially in game polishing mode that we know of. As far as the release date, summer 2023. A little bit longer than I was expecting, kinda. So what I mean by that is, in the last episode I talked about what I personally thought was going to happen was the end of their physical quarter, which I believe is January, February, and March. Like, that's their final quarter of the year. So that's what I was thinking. Instead, it's going to be April, May, June, or I guess potentially July. So we'll see. So I'm guessing quarter 2, hopefully, and maybe we'll get it in June. That'd be pretty cool. Around my birthday. Hey, this guy. But yeah, so there was somebody that wrote in the comments. Unfortunately, I can't think of your name right now off the top of my head, but you were talking about a year. Completely agree with you. Obviously, now we kind of see that, and I kind of felt that way as well. But once again, I was still kind of really hardcore set on the quarter 1, so I can't take full credit for it. I'll give you the credit, but kind of set on quarter 1, so is what it is. No big deal. I'm kind of used to the whole, like, I guess the Final Fantasy 7 anniversary constantly coming around on that corner, so it's like, yeah. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So we got the official release date. So what does that mean for the other part of my conversation, which was Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2? And by other part of the conversation, I mean last video, not this video. Because we won't go too much into Remake Part 2 because we didn't get anything. I don't think it's coming out in 2023. It's very hard for me to believe that they would release 2 Juggernaut titles in the same year. It doesn't make sense. And once again, I say Juggernaut title for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 because Final Fantasy VII, whether you're a fan of it or not, I know it gets hate. I know the community, and I hope everybody else starts to do this as well. Some of the Final Fantasy VII community is toxic. Once again, it's still undeniably one of the most popular games out of the genre. I mean, it's gotten all the iterations it has. It's gotten the books. It's gotten the movie. Like, it's gotten some love for a reason. Like, it's there. Not shitting on any other Final Fantasy. There's not really a Final Fantasy I've played where I was like, man, I did not have fun playing that. And I played all of them but 15 and 11. So it's kind of like really hard for me to be like, you know, not in the knowledge about that. And it's not because of a choice of not to do it. I just never got around to it. I'm currently going through, and what you'll start to see here on the channel as well. Yes, this is giving you a little sneak peek here for my Final Fantasy fans out there. I haven't talked about this anywhere else. Final Fantasy Fridays are coming back. And not only are they coming back, but they're coming back in a big way. I've changed the entire loadout. I've changed the way everything looks. I think JoJo's even going to be guest starring on it, so you'll have another person there for commentary as well. I'm excited for what Final Fantasy Friday is going to look like, and you should be as well. And that will be our start to finish playthrough of every Final Fantasy, starting from 1 all the way through. So we're going to be playing them. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anyways, back to where I was at. I don't think that they're going to release 2 Juggernauts. I don't see that happening. It doesn't make sense financially because they stand to gain a lot of money, a lot more money as far as competition-wise goes, with releasing it on a separate year. And what I mean by that is like, you hear in business practice all the time, the best competition to have is yourself, right? And that makes sense, but not financially makes sense. Like, it's great if you don't have other competition, that's fine. That's fine and dandy. But there is other competition, and Square Enix can never stomp out that other competition. So why compete with yourself every single year whenever you can spread things out and, you know, have, you know, physically good years, multiple years in a row? It just makes more sense. Like, let's have one killer year and then a lean year for the next. I mean, it's probably going to be, what, another 3 to 5 years before we start hearing talks about another Final Fantasy mainline title. Another 3 years after the release of 7, maybe 4, before we get part 3. You never know, right? So, but I will say for Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 1 to release April 2020, March 2020. It was supposed to be April, and then it got pushed to March, I believe. Hashtag pandemic. A 4-year gap isn't that bad. I mean, it'd be better if it was 3, but it's really not that bad. And we really don't know how many parts they're going to be doing, so I guess it just depends. Once again, sorry for the coughing. Tad bit sick today. Been sick for the last 3 days. I'm hoping it's ending pretty soon. Anyways, that being said, back to where we were at. So Final Fantasy 16, we got our trailer. It looked great. We got to see some new faces as far as the icons go. We got to see Garuda. We got to see Odin. We got to see Bahamut. I think that's all the new ones. No, Rama as well. And then we got some more looks at Shiva, some more looks at Titan, some more looks at Ifrit. So that's a lot of icons. I'm kind of interested in if there's more that we just still haven't seen yet. I think there is, because I remember at some point showing one of the icon fights, there was like question marks above one of their names. So I'm still thinking that there's something we haven't seen yet. I would like to see if it is a kind of like an Alexander type. I feel like I could see an Alexander type icon in this era. I just don't know with like the fighting aspect that they're wanting to put in, if it would really match that though. So that's, I mean, Alexander's not known for his mobility. That being said, but yeah, so we got to see that. We got to, like I said, we're going to get to that here in a second. We got some more information on some already faces that were around that, you know, now I go back and watch the first trailer, I kind of noticed them a little bit more, especially the guy that's the dominant of Titan. But yeah, I was really excited about it. Literally was waiting for it to come out. Was sitting there watching, you know, the state of play. It would be really cool, though, I will say this, with it coming out summer next year, if we get a demo at the end of this year. That would be fucking cool. I am 100% down for a demo. We'll have to wait and see what they got in plan. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this website, right? So, Final Fantasy 16 released 2023, and we got new character reveals. I didn't go to the Final Fantasy 16 website. Hold on, let's take a look here. Let's see if they've actually updated that website. Because I'm just kind of curious if that website's been updated or if they just put it on Square Enix's website. If they updated this website, I'd like to use this website, but we'll see because I had the other one already formatted. So they probably did, and that's going to suck. They did. Of course they did. Okay. Well, let's see how this looks. Okay, with my edit, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, we'll use this. That's fine. That's fine. It's okay. All right, so Final Fantasy 16. We're going to use their website. So the website looks beautiful, by the way. Love this background. So yeah, Final Fantasy 16, the legacy of the... I love that line. The legacy of the crystals has shaped our history for long enough. Fucking love it. Whenever he says that in the actual trailer, I get goosebumps. I get actual goosebumps. Like, it's so fucking good. I'm so excited for this game, guys. I hope you guys are too. So obviously we got Ifrit going on here. This is nice little thumbnail. So let's look at the world first, right? I think that they've uploaded the new screenshots in here. I might be wrong, but let's just go ahead and take a look. I think they have. Have they said anything else about these houses? Like the redacted information? No, so the redacted information is still out here because obviously we didn't get to see who the dominant was. We didn't see the dominant was of that one either. Heart for heart. Okay, so they just didn't put any information. I don't know where the pics of the map are going to be. Oh, here we go. The screenshots. Here we go. All nice and big right here. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, so we'll start with the first one. So what we see, I believe, is going to be like the main castle. I don't think that that's Rosaria, the one that's up against the crystal. Possibly the one that's down lower. Although I believe on the map that we saw back here, just go ahead and kind of get a feel for where everything's at. I think Rosaria is like close to a coast, right? I thought there was like just the map itself. I might be wrong. Hell, maybe I am wrong. I mean, I think I did guessing because of the fact of where they talked about the crystal and sharing with the islands, and that one's on the island. So I think this is Rosaria. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that that's Rosaria right there. Either way, this is what we're looking at. I think this is going to be the main city with that gigantic crystal behind it. It looks so fucking cool. I'm excited to explore that entire map. It looks huge. I hope it's going to be huge. Like, it looks so good. But anyways, so that's what it looks like. Super clean. Looks good. I can't wait to see this on PlayStation 5. I think it's going to be awesome. It kind of sucks that this game is coming out when it is now, so due to the fact that I'm sure this game would look amazing in Unreal 5. But it's probably going to be a while before we see Unreal 5. Like, I don't even think it would... With mocap being done, I highly doubt Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is even going to be in the newest Unreal Engine. Anyway, so got some more graphics here. We see some kind of like wet swamplands. This kind of looks like that spot where Clive was fighting the Marlboro. So I'm really excited for that. The combat in this game just looks so fluid, a lot like Devil May Cry, in my opinion, like really Devil May Cry-ish type content. So as far as the combat goes, I think that's gonna be awesome. I like how lush and everything the forests are. That looks like really, really good. Clive looks really, really good. Something that I did notice though in these pictures, yeah, like this. Like, well, I mean, we're getting so many different types of ecosystems and atmospheres. Like, I'm really excited about that. But something with these pictures though, I think it was, yeah, this one. So we see a complete armor change. So that right there, we get to know one. Our weapons are going to look different, which is great, just like they do in the remake, which is awesome. Our weapons are going to look different when we go through different weapons, and our armor changes as well, which is very interesting. So as you can see here, he has no cape, and the sword looks completely different. To where if we go back just a couple here, we have a cape. The sword has all these Square Enix with their belts. All these belts on them are on it and holding it up in place. Same thing when we come here. We've got the two belts with the sword. The sword looks amazing, by the way. The cape. Now, we do see this look a lot, though. So I could be wrong in like a lot of customization as far as moving through. I mean, I think that like there's an end look for Clive. And like sooner or later, you got to get to that end look. is more the way I see it versus it being like completely customizable, like an MMO, for instance, like Final Fantasy 14. I don't really see that, but I guess it's technically not out of the realm of possibility. It would be like completely customizable, but it would be like within the scope of a solo JRPG, if that makes sense. You know, like for instance, like here's even 15 I feel like would be too much. Here's 10 sets, right? And you can mix and match between the 10 sets and make whatever you want. Or it's just going to be progression armor. You know, like when we get to like 50% of the story, this is what Clive is wearing. Maybe he's a cadet in that, you know, secret group he's in. So until he earns his stripes, he doesn't get like the better looking armor, kind of like Soldier. Soldier, you know, third class, second class, first class type situation. I could see that being a thing. So yeah, once again, back to the scenery here. Let's back it up just a little bit. I think we were on the sand looking one. Yep, this one. So yeah, I mean, the look of the palm trees is awesome. That looks great. I mean, I'm just really excited with just the building layouts, how this all looks. It looks gorgeous. It looks beautiful. This looks awesome as fuck to me. I don't know what this is yet, obviously, but this looks like some underground, ruinish type temples. Like, this looks really, really cool. I'm excited for that scene. I hate talking about killing Dragoons because I love Dragoons. They're so badass. But man, the Dragoons look so badass in this game. And that's probably my favorite part of the first trailer is whenever that dude kicks over the dead body of the Dragoon. And he's like, Dragoon, Imperial Vipers. Like, I love it, dude. I'm so excited to see the Dragoons. They look so badass. It sucks we have to fight them, but it looks so badass. It's cool that they're like the elite squad of like the Imperial. So that's pretty cool. Which, by the way, let's talk about that for a second. Once again, Final Fantasy VII fan here, so I see a lot of like, whenever I see certain characters, it just reflects to other characters. So it could just be the fan bias here. The overall Emperor, I'm guessing, which was the blonde guy in the trailer, I feel like he has really strong President Shinra vibes. And what I mean by that, for the ones that are Final Fantasy fans but didn't play 7, is, you know, he was willing to kill 3. I think they said the number was like whenever they did, like talked about the original, was like 300,000 people died when the plate dropped just to snuff out, you know, the group of like 7 Avalanche members. With that being said, he was like, if someone dies, another one can be bred. If a house burns down, another one can be built. The empire will live on. That very callous of like, I don't give a fuck about the people. I don't give a fuck about their lives. Whatever happens, we can rebuild. It doesn't matter. The empire cannot die. It's a very weird mentality to have, obviously, because it's such a higher level of thinking with that of, and what I mean by higher, I don't mean like good higher. I mean, it's like you're a pawn. Like, this does not matter, you know, but we know, you know, like, you know, my grandpa's life is lost. Like, that's going to be detrimental to the rest of my family because there's a lot that goes into that. My house is gone. Just because it gets rebuilt doesn't mean it's going to be mine. If I lose everything in the house, I'm just fucked. It's like, you know, there's that aspect of thinking, right? So I just got real President Shinra vibes from it. And like I said, it could just be the Final Fantasy VII fanish enemy. Who knows? We'll see. But moving on to the next, once again, I love the dark forest atmosphere. Once again, kind of the swampland type situation going on here. I like the screenshot so far. I really like the environment that we're setting up. I see a lot of outside, which makes me feel like there's a lot of traveling going on, like walking around traveling. Potentially horse or chocobo. We've seen chocobos. We saw them riding chocobos. I believe it was the Dalmekians were riding the chocobos in the war. So, and we know Clive has a silver chocobo as a child. Or like teenage or young adult, whatever you want to call it. We know he has the silver chocobo. So, could be riding chocobos. That would be fucking cool. But it looks like there's a lot of moving. I mean, that's my biggest issue with Final Fantasy VII is it's not so open world. Midgar was very, like, it was big, but it was very linear. Like, you were going specifically this route. Like, there was a lot to do. The game lasted for a while, and that was great. But still, it's very cut to where this is going to be a little bit more open world. You get this full map. You can kind of go do what you want to. You can spend time fucking off over here in this forest and just leveling up and shit. That's going to be so huge. So, a massive game. It would be a massive game. But it is it's a main title Final Fantasy, so I don't not expect it. But at the same time, don't not expect it. That didn't make sense. I expect it solely due to the fact that I'm sorry. I expect it solely due to the fact that didn't mean to hit the mic there. That it's coming from a creator of an MMO, right? So I could see that happening. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm getting way off in the. Obviously, you can tell I'm excited, right? I'm just talking with you guys at this point. We're having a conversation. That's what's happening right here. So, and then the last screenshot we had, once again, out here in the desert, we got some more outside vibes. You know, I mean, like I said, yeah, I don't want to get like too fanboyish here, but like the weeds, the grass, all that shit. I mean, it looks good. This game looks good. I'm excited. I'm excited to have a Final Fantasy that's coming back to the roots, the medieval-ish type age. I know 7's my favorite, but I love the medieval-ish type age. I'm really excited to see how this game goes. It's supposed to have some like Game of Thrones-ish type feels. I'm all for that. All for that. So yeah, there was a message from the team. We're not worried about that. We already heard that message, obviously. So let's jump into the characters, right? That was the other new thing that we got. So we got the characters. Obviously, we already talked about Clive. We talked about Joshua. We talked about Jill. So now we've got Hugo Kupka into the mix. This is the dominant of Titan. The dominant of Titan. He's obviously economic advisor. Hugo, meteoric rise to providence was sudden. Is not unexpected. Once a nameless foot soldier in the Republican Army, his awakening as dominant of the icon Titan thrust him into the forefront of the Dhalmekian politics. I love the name of the Dhalmekian. It sounds so awesome. It was here he used his newfound position as the most powerful man in the Republic to exert influence over both the nation's armies and its policy making, amassing a personal fortune in the process. Yes, or yet, while it is said that the man who has everything wants for nothing, I'm not going to lie, I don't know how to say her name yet, so I'm probably going to butcher the shit out of this. I'm sorry, but hey, some of you motherfuckers still say Eris versus Aerith. So let's calm down, right? Benedicta Harmon will teach him more, and our money and power are far from all the world has to offer. So we've seen him in the first trailer, kind of in the background. Second trailer, we got to see a lot more of him. So we know that this is the guy that turns into Titan. I kind of liked his line that he had about, like, if we were to duel, it would shake the very ground of the foundation or whatever it was. That was awesome. Like I said, I'm excited to see more of him. And, yeah, I just, this dude's a badass. I'm ready to see. I hear from the first trailer and this one, we hear a lot about the Dhalmekian army, and they sound like the powerhouses. I'm ready to see what the Dhalmekian army is all about. So, the lady's name, who I'm pretty sure I'm fucking butchering the shit out of, Benedicta Harmon. If you think you know how to pronounce it, say it in the comments. I'm not saying it's going to make me change the way I say it, but it would be interesting to see who's going to be right. I'm sure it's not going to be me, but it's pretty interesting to see who it is that's going to be right when the game comes out. Anyways, because we can always revisit this conversation next year. Having emerged from the storm of youth, cold-hearted, and ruthlessness, Benedicta Harmon, dominant of the icon Garuda, which I'm so happy we're getting Garuda, by the way. She looks awesome. Like, awesome. Like, oh, man. Anyways, Warden of the Wind turned her talent for swordplay and subterfuge into a command of Wayloads, elite. No, hold on. Wayloads, whatever it is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sick. Give me a break. That's the one with Odin's flag, though. That doesn't make sense, right? Or am I crazy? Yeah, that's Odin's flag. Huh. Interesting. Yo, theories below. I just saw this, so I don't have any theories yet. Theories below. Hit me in that comment section. Let me know those theories. Please. Let me know. Anyways, yeah, because I don't know. If you guys got theories, throw them down there. I'll start thinking of stuff. Maybe we can hit this with another episode. Like I said, this is a DFU episode, so I'm trying to do more teaching stuff versus like my thoughts on the trailer. I'll try to do a review show on the trailer as well. Like I said, I am sick, so hopefully when I get better, it might have to wait like next week. But yeah, like I'm just not feeling up to it. It is on a mission to find the elusive second icon of fire that she crosses paths with a like-minded Clive and is forced to face her past. So she is also after Ifrit, which is awesome. And we saw them get at it in that trailer. She blew his fucking arm off. Like, I am ready to see that fight happen. Now, I'm also interested to know, like, how that works, right? Now, I've played Final Fantasy XIV, and I believe that's where the start of this icon dominant thing kind of started. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the description below. The later Final Fantasies I've only played once, and I haven't really got a chance to get back around to them yet. Obviously, so I'm starting from the beginning. So some of that stuff is a little and I never played 11. So if it started in 11, let me know. But I believe it was 14 where the icon dominant thing started. If something like that happens where Ifrit's arm is just ripped the fuck off, is it kind of like Attack on Titan for you anime fans out there, where it's like the person is like, in here or somewhere in, and it's like they don't like lose their actual appendages or anything like that? Or, is like the dude that's like Ifrit just fucked now without an arm? I don't know. That'd be awesome. But either way, I like her character art. Her character art looks fucking awesome. I'm excited to see her like going around, and I believe we saw a pretty steamy, well, we didn't get to actually see like a sex scene, but an after sex scene of her, and I'm gonna take a stab in the dark here, say Clive's dad in bed together. It looks like the dude that it's whenever it's in the first trailer where he like puts his head down saying the thing like, without the blessing of the mother crystal, we will never be able to combat this the blight or whatever, something like that, something around there, paraphrasing here. I believe that's who that we saw that in bed with. Once again, let me know in the comments below if you're on the same page as me or if you think differently, but I think that's where we're at. But yeah, I love her character artwork. She looks awesome. She looks amazing. I can't wait to see her. She's gonna be great. But yeah, so that's a lot of the new information that we got. For me, Odin stole the show. Odin looked amazing, although Bahamut also looked amazing. But Odin flying up, Bahamut doing Mega Flare, and Odin just cutting straight through that shit looked so cool. So fucking cool. So definitely ready to see some more of the icon fighting, and I'm wondering how that's going to feel. I don't want it to feel like too... You guys know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the right word for it right now. Once again, sick brain. But you know what I mean? Like whenever you get into some of those fights and they don't... The epicness that's on screen doesn't match what the computing is going down here. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm really hoping that the icon fights don't turn out like that. Like, make me feel as epic doing it as it is on the screen, right? Because, I mean, I'm planning on potentially recording 16 and putting it on the channel. If not, once again, I am streaming again, like legitimately streaming again. So feel free to swap or stop by there, and I'll probably stream it. Not 100% sure which route I'm going to go yet, but I want to have that excitement on camera too. Like, oh my god, this is fucking great. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so that's going to cover it. I think that I've pretty much said everything that I had to say about the trailer. Like I said, I like the trailer. I like what I saw. I like the different aspect of weapons. It looked like the changing through the icon styles were pretty awesome. Pretty quick, pretty easy to do. Because he was using Phoenix, knocked that one guy up in the air, jumped up in the air, started fighting him, then switched to Titan and smashed his ass back down. So if we can switch through like that, it just seems like the whole battle aspect is very fast paced, and that's very, very smart, especially today's games. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But other than that, I think we're going to go ahead and call it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope that this was way better than the last one. Once again, I am sick. I do apologize, but it's nowhere near as late as it was last time. So at least I was awake. Had a great time having a conversation with you guys in the comments last time. So feel free, jump down those comments again. I'm ready to talk up some Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy literally fuels me. I love this series. I love Square Enix. I'll talk about it all day long. Feel free to throw them down in the comments. I'm here to have a conversation with you. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and call it here. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Please, guys, that's the best thing to do to help us out, along with sharing our content to other people. If you got some Final Fantasy fans and they got some thoughts, be like, hey, I know this guy Chris on Dead Funny. You need to go talk to him. Hit him in the comments below. He'll talk to you, because I will. So share it around with any Final Fantasy fans you know, any other creators and stuff like that. I'm down to have conversation with creators. I love this game. Love this series. Love everything about it. Let's have a conversation. But we got Twitters. We got Twitches down there below. I know multiple of us are, yeah, a good amount of us down there stream. So feel free to go check those out. But at the end of all this, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next time.